sorry to travel across this entire state, but man, it is good to be home, and it's so good to see all of you.
We love you.
How about Gretchen, though? You want to get rid of Gretchen?
Yeah.
Ready to say goodbye to Gretchen Whitmer?
Yeah. AKA Captain Caitlin Whitmer.
How about we open Michigan for business? I say that and people go, well, Michigan's open for business. I'm like, I don't know. Have you seen how Gretchen Whitmer treats business? Because I'm pretty sure Michigan hasn't been open for business for 4 years. Gretchen Whitmer is abusive to the businesses in this state. She uses her agencies to lock them down, to cite them, to fine them. Gretchen Whitmer is bad for business. She's bad for business, she's bad for students, she's bad for our seniors. And it's time to make sure Gretchen Whitmer doesn't get back into office. I don't know if you've seen this, but Gretchen Whitmer has put together a parents' council. She's going to listen to parents. Pretty sure there have been a few parents' councils formed. Maybe she didn't realize she already had some parents' councils she could talk to. She doesn't need her own made up with, I don't know, what are they? Her own little Democrat activists and donors? I see some parents right here. How do you feel about Gretchen Whitmer? Gretchen Whitmer has this commercial out where she says, we all know how important it is to have kids in person learning. How can you even say that? How can you even say that when the scores in our school are so low? When you look at what's happening in public school in the state of Michigan, nearly 60% of our third graders can't read or write.
So sad.
When you ask her what she's going to do about it, she says, I just put record money into our schools. And we're thinking, she doesn't know how inflation works, does she? Because she didn't actually put record money. The costs are so dang high because she supports Joe Biden's crappy policies. And outside of money, what are you going to do to get our kids back on track now that you locked them down for so long? She says, don't vote for Tudor because she's going to dismantle public ed. I'm like, what are you talking about? You've already done that for 2 years. We're trying to put public ed back together. Try to fix your mess. It's time to make sure there's no wrong path in education for kids in the state of Michigan. You know, it's funny because I heard Kellyanne mention the auto show. Did you all see Gretchen Whitmer at the auto show? Holding Joe Biden's hand? Yeah, it's like, was she holding him up? Did he think it was his wife? What exactly was happening there? I'll tell you, the look on her, oh my gosh, this is happening. I'd rather be kidnapped by the FBI. But said this, you know, it doesn't matter that Joe Biden came here and called me all kinds of names and put my life in danger. That doesn't matter. They'll never talk about that. If you guys want to, you can, but they're probably not going to. They're only going to make us look bad. That's their job. They work for the Democrats. That's why we need so many people like you. That's why we're so happy to see all of you here today, because we're ready to fight back. We're ready to see a Michigan that takes care of its families, that takes care of the people who go to work every single day. Where is Gretchen Whitmer's plan? Because this time we'd like a little bit more than a tagline, wouldn't we?
Yes. Maybe she's hiding in the basement.
I think she's hiding with Biden. I think she's they're holding hands, watching television shows together. Maybe they're having some ice cream. I think you guys are on. Well, we haven't heard from her. Where is she? I hear she's having these events, but they're invite only. You guys, everybody could come here. Can you imagine though getting that invitation? It's like, oh, what do I say? Washing my hair? Maybe I could tell her I'm cutting my hair because I can just Google it, right, to figure it out. Isn't that what she told us? Just Google it. Cut your own hair. That's what it is. So maybe we don't need all this licensing if you can just Google stuff, right? Why do people have to get barber license? Why can barbers be shut down if you can just Google how to do it? Maybe she should take a lesson from her own policies. Just Google it, Gretchen. Maybe you should Google unemployment and then you wouldn't just waste $8.5 billion. Yeah, maybe she should Google fixing the roads. She thinks it's about going out and just filling a pothole herself. I'm like, that doesn't work. That's actually not how you fix the roads. Like, that's what you do when you're a career politician, though. You get the shot. Get a shot of me. I'm going to have this bright yellow vest on and a helmet, and I'm going to fill up the pothole myself, and everybody will go, there she is fixing the roads. That's not how you do it, Gretchen. But we all know because it's costing us $5,000 a year to fix our vehicles because of all the road damage in the state of Michigan. So this time I tell you, ask people for a plan. And what you'll see from us is we're presenting a plan. And that's why we just presented our plan for police to make sure that we put $1 billion new into our law enforcement. We are going to recruit and retain police officers. We will give them the training that they need. We will give them the equipment they need, the technology that they need, and the mental health help they need. And beyond that, we will stand with them. You will never hear a Governor Dixon say defund the police. Or I support the spirit of defund the police. That's what Gretchen said. And that's what happened. That's what happened to this state. We have the highest crime rates we've seen in years. We see crime in areas we've never seen crime before, but we're fighting that. We're going to make sure that doesn't happen in Michigan. That's not going to be our future. We've got a plan for tutoring to get our kids back on track. The school year started. Where's Gretchen's plan? Right now, she is governor. What is she doing for our kids? Have you seen it? I saw someone ask her the other day, what have you accomplished for Michigan? And she was like, I gave out $400 checks. And I thought, thanks. Within Biden's inflation, that pays for one tank of gas. That's your claim to fame. But you notice one thing she isn't saying? She isn't coming out and saying, I saved the lives of our seniors. Because of my policies, our kids are healthy. Because of my policies, we have the best economy that Michigan's ever had. Because it's the opposite of that. A sign of a bad leader is someone who can't listen to the people around them. The people who said, don't put COVID positive patients into nursing homes. The people who said, your unemployment system is screwed up. You got to make sure you don't have all these people on your unemployment rolls. The people who said, put the kids back in school. But you know what voices were louder? The voices that were giving her money to run again. As she's holding Joe Biden's hand, I wonder if she whispered in his ear, I know you didn't choose me for vice president, but I'm going up against you in 24 for president. Because you know that's what she's thinking. So let's just stop that right now. Let's just make sure she doesn't get another 4 or 2, whatever how many years she's planning in Michigan, because we know Michigan isn't where her heart is. She doesn't. That's what we will do in the state of Michigan. I'll just say, when Kelly can have an amazing job in this state. That's what we will do in the state of Michigan. I'll just say, when Kellyanne talked about being able to smoke weed but not being able to smoke grass but not mow your grass, I had a greenhouse come up to me at an event a few weeks ago, and they said, I want to share a note with you that was placed on our door. We grow for a certain specific period of time that we can sell, and Gretchen Whitmer shut us down. And we did curbside service for our greenhouse. And she had a note put on the door of our greenhouse that said, if you don't stop, we are going to make sure you serve time in jail. You serve time in jail. But think about that. He said to me, you could get weed curbside, but you couldn't get plants curbside. He said, we grow them the same way. So when I say she held our businesses hostage and she took their livelihoods away, I've got people that say things to me like, we used our life savings, thank God we had it. And I'm like, really? No. How can you feel that way? She stole that from you. And other states were open. Other states said, we trust you. We trust you. It's not our place to shut you down. Just be safe. Never forget what she robbed from you in this state. And make sure she never has a chance to do it again. Like I said, Muskegon, it is good to be home. We are going to be all over this state.
Great job, Tudor. This is what we need, folks. This is what we need in Michigan. She nailed every point. So before we get going, I just show of hands, how many feds in the crowd? Any feds? I just wanted to make sure there wasn't some sort of, federal kidnapping plot being. Well, that is actually a crime that they'd prevent. Unlike everything else that they've let go, right? They create them. Gretchen Whitmer can know about it months in advance, but if we can get good PR from it, we can pretend like it's real. The FBI can try to entrap a couple of meth heads somewhere and run with that narrative. Now, they won't do anything about the guys that are on their lists, like that run through Christmas parades. They won't, can't be bothered with that. Like actual terrorists, they can't do anything about that. But if your grandmother was within 1,500 miles of D.C. on January 6th, they probably paid her a visit, right? But guys, that's exactly what we're up against as a country right now. That's going on. Thank you, sir. I love you too, sir. Not that there's anything wrong with that, okay? It's 2022. This is wonderful. Thank you, man. Appreciate you coming out. But guys, we all see what's going on. They're not even hiding it anymore. They're saying the quiet part out loud every day. I saw it, I think it was yesterday with Tudor. I was like, I couldn't tell if I was being punked anymore by Democrat policy. They were asking her how dare you question handing out pornography in your child's classroom? I'm like, they gotta be joking, right? They gotta be kidding me with this crap, right? It's not enough that you have dudes playing against women in sports and pretending that's fine and great and equal and whatever else they tell you it is. That they would tell you that a 3-year-old should be able to decide to mutilate their body permanently, but that same person couldn't buy a pack of cigarettes for another 15 years, right? That's today's Democrat policy. And that's what we have to remember going into midterms and going into 2024. Joe Biden's actually been right about one thing, which is this is not your father's Republican Party anymore. Damn straight. We now know what we're up against. We're not afraid to call it out. But what he's missing is it's not your grandfather's Democrat Party anymore either. Today's Democrat Party is not the party of working class individuals. They couldn't care less. Just look at their open border policies and who that affects most. They could care less. They just care about power and retaining it. Look at Michigan's response. It was literally on par with the major disasters of New York and California and New Jersey. That's what Gretchen Whitmer did. But Michigan is not New York or New Jersey or California, also known as the People's Republic of California. It's Michigan, and yet your governor is on the leading edge of the lunatic fringe of the radical left. first I thought it was maybe because she was just running for VP the whole time, and so she'd give the lunatics exactly what they wanted, but they decided that, well, I mean, think of it this way. All you need to know for the coming weeks is that they chose Kamala Harris imagine, they chose Kamala Harris over Gretchen Whitmer. Doesn't that, the people of the people and the people. Oh, she's a wonderful orator. I mean, imagine, every speech is like a word salad of, idiocy, right? We get a soundbite, then we repeat it 30 times while saying nothing. They chose her over Gretchen Whitmer, and it wasn't close. Doesn't that tell you everything you need to know, Michigan? Sir, would you like to do this? No, I'm just kidding. But think about that for a second. That's how insane it is, right? Now, of course, going into they try to make Kamala Harris seem so brilliant, and she's on the issues, and she's very relatable, right? I'm like, I don't know, folks. I'm the son of a billionaire from New York City. I'm not supposed to, it's not that hard. Just be a human. But they can't, they're incapable of it. Right? Because they're not the ones in charge. If I was Joe Biden, I'd get up in here, hi, Canada, it's great to be here today. And everyone would be like, it's okay. It's fine. Right? You had the Easter Bunny running cover for him a few weeks ago. Remember that one? They're like, no. But think about it. We have a president. They have to put a comms person in the Easter Bunny's costume to make sure that he doesn't talk to his Democrat donor constituents, because even they would be like, Jesus Christ, this is Remember the handshake to nowhere? He did it again yesterday, by the way. It's whatever they jack him up on to make him seem there's no drug strong enough to make him seem lucid, okay? He could smoke as much crack as Hunter and it would still not get him there, okay? But it seems whatever they give him, it wears off halfway through the speech, and it goes from gross incompetence to just he ain't even present, right? He's going around. I posted about it. I go, that's sort of weird. He's trying to handshake nothing for 7 minutes. They fact-checked me, because this is what we're up against, right? No. He was pointing to the crowd with an open palm, like Frank the Tank, right? I don't know, guys. Anyone who watched it, the crowd was there. He's there. Now, I understand and believe that he may not know that, which should scare all of us. Think about it. Imagine of the world. You're the president of the United States. You want him picking up the phone at 3 in the morning? I don't want him picking up the phone at 3 in the afternoon. It's a problem. But again, what we're up against, what Tudor's going to be up against, what all conservatives are going to be up against is a $1 trillion mainstream media complex that will run cover. They're the ones still telling you, Joe Biden, he's going to be a moderate, right? He literally told you he was going to shut off our pipelines. They told you that. It was a major tenet of the Democrat primaries. Well, that'd be bad in Pennsylvania and Ohio and Texas and other places. So the media just gets, no, they don't really mean it. No, it's just kidding. So those of you who are working hard for a living, breaking your ass just to put some food on the table, try to live your American dream, what's left of it, what hasn't been exported to China by the same politicians, because again, Tudor was right, it's all about the money. You weren't paying attention, watching. God, there must be something. You heard about Russia collusion for 5 years. It's got to be something there, right? It's got to be something. You hear about it. Would the FBI lie about these things? Well, no, but now we know. At the time, hey, I was guilty of it. Look what they tried doing to Mike Flynn, right? I was like, man, even me, and I'd been through it. I'd done 50 hours of testimony before Congress. They wanted to try me for treason. Minor details. It's a crime punishable by death. But just for me at this point, that's Tuesday. It's here we go again, folks. Is it firing squad this time? Or are they just gonna, But that's what it is every day. So even I was like, man, The FBI and the CIA, they're saying these things. There's got to be some truth to it. Right? There has to be something, because I wanted to believe that there was. But then I started watching. Then we watch a little bit more. Then you see the fake kidnap plot orchestrated by the FBI. Then you see them lying on FISA warrants. Then you see them lying before... If I lied before Congress in my 50 hours, I'd be in jail right now. If you're a Democrat or doing their bidding, it's fine. You don't even lose your job or your pension. You probably get a promotion, and then you get a contributing role on CNN. Because we're playing two different games. And if it's not the trillion-dollar mainstream media complex helping you, it's big tech.